One Zambia, one nation. I am Twambosi Avwapa, and we bring to you Zanis news from Zanis Studios in Lusaka. First, the stories making headlines. President Hichilema congratulates DRC's President-elect Tshisekedi. Cholera cases continue to reduce. Government cautions people on illegal trade in borders. Plus, Chipolopolo boys expected in Ivory Coast. And now the news in detail. President Hakainde Hichilema has congratulated President-elect of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Felix Antoine Tshisekedi Chilombo, following his victory in the recently held general elections. The president has commended the peaceful and calm manner in which the elections were conducted, adding that it attests to the commitment and resilience of the people of the DRC to the democratic process. In a statement made available to Zanis in Lusaka by Acting Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mulambo Haimbe, President Hichilema has reaffirmed Zambia's commitment to further strengthen its robust collaboration with the DRC. Mr. Hichilema says the move will help promote regional stability, foster economic growth, and enhance the well-being of citizens in both countries. The head of state has acknowledged the deep-rooted, warm and cordial bilateral relations between Zambia and the DRC, anchored on common values and culture. President Hichilema has also noted the significance of the DRC as Zambia's strategic trading partner and lauded the collaborative efforts between the two nations, evolving from strength to strength, which he says serve as a testament to the shared vision to progress and prosperity. Minister of Health Sylvia Masebo says the country has continued to record reduced cases of cholera. Ms. Masebo says 446 cases were recorded in the last 24 hours, compared to the 457 cases recorded on Thursday. Meanwhile, Ministry of Information and Media Permanent Secretary Thabo Kawana says government will put up strict measures in order to eradicate the disease.
Government has noted with happiness reducing cases of cholera recorded in the last 24 hours. Minister of Health Sylvia Masebo said 446 cases were recorded in the last 24 hours, adding that the continuous reduction of cases is the beginning of the end of the outbreak.
In the last 24 hours, we have recorded countrywide a total of 446 new cases. 446 new cases compared to 457 cases yesterday and 529 cases on Wednesday, and then you recall on Tuesday the numbers were 736. So with 446 new cases, we can confirm that we seem to be going down, which is some good news, but the numbers are still high. We remain hopeful though that this downward trend is the beginning of the end of this outbreak. We have recorded a total of 23 deaths in the last 24 hours. Of all the deaths, 13 were in the community, and 10 were recorded in the cholera treatment facilities across the country, indicating further improvement in clinical management. We acknowledge the resilience and great efforts of our workforce and continue to strive to get to zero facility deaths.
Ministry of Information and Media Permanent Secretary Thabo Kawana disclosed government's intentions to eradicate the disease.
Now tough decisions of government, and this is going to be the last outbreak of cholera that we are going to see because we are moving forward. We are going to do what needs to be done. So what needs to be raised down will be raised down. What needs to be broken will be broken. What needs to be protruded will be protruded. And things have to be done correctly. We are going back to the drawing board. It's time to plan. It's time to recast. It's time to refocus. And of course, there will be casualties along the way, but we must do this. We must look at the bigger picture.
The private sector has come on board to donate assorted items to patients and medical staff in the cholera treatment centers.
Kuti valandira vamene tapasa chinangu chachikulu ni chakuti namvera wonse vakamba chabe pa mankhwala pa cleanliness pa mankhwala but timayewala chitu chimoza na chachikulu maningi mapemphero. Izafunika kuti tonse tike mapemphero pamoza kuti wonse wodwala mulungu avapolese bwinobwino and vamene vakalibe kudwala bankhale na hygiene and tonse it's not donation sindalama chabe donation ngankhale na mapemphero.
The fight against cholera can be won if everyone plays a role in ensuring cleanliness in homes and public places. Sharon Walia reporting for Zanis in Lusaka.
Still in health news, the Ministry of Health on the Copperbelt province has commenced the mass distribution of more than 1.7 million mosquito nets in a bid to eliminate malaria. National Malaria Elimination Center Assistant Director Sampach Tambala says more than 5,000 households are expected to benefit from the program. Here is a report.
Malaria is a disease that has continued to affect most households in the country. And on the Copper Belt, the Ministry of Health has kicked off the campaign to distribute free mosquito nets to more than 3 million people. National Malaria Elimination Center Assistant Director has visited some households in Ndola to witness the distribution of mosquito nets, which is an effective way to end malaria when people develop the habit of sleeping under it.
54,668 households. And like I said, with a total net of 1.7 million, that's 1.733750. So that's over 1.7 million nets. And we hope the exercise should conclude by the 31st of January. The nets are the major primary vector control intervention against the mosquito. We also have the indoor residual spray. And then the other thing is we appeal to people, once you have fever, the same way we are talking about cholera, when you are talking about malaria, it's fever. Once you have fever, go to the hospital, go to the health facility, go to the clinic.
Indora District Public Health Specialist is happy that the distribution of mosquito nets will help reduce malaria cases.
This distribution of insecticide-treated nets is extremely important, especially to the people of Copperbelt and Ndola in particular. In Ndola, we had, at last year, 174,000 cases of malaria recorded, and this was 50% more than we had in the previous year. And this translates to about 474 individuals who are diagnosed with malaria every day. The problem with having malaria is that you are sick. You are not able to work productively. You're not able to take care of your family. You're not able to go to work. And this actually puts a drain on the economy.
Indora District Commissioner Joseph Piri has called on Indora residents to get involved in the fight against malaria.
As you might be aware, that Ndola has continued recording high malaria cases each year. Over 173 cases of malaria were recorded in the year 2023 as compared to which were recorded in 2022, which was about 115,000 cases. This represents a 50% increase in malaria cases in the district.
The beneficiaries of the mosquito nets are delighted.
I am happy to receive the mosquito nets, as it is not easy to buy them in shops. But as government, you have given us for free.
The mass distribution of these mosquito nets needs to be cherished by everyone, as it is an effective way to end malaria in the country. Tovini Ngombe, Zanis, Ndola.
Northern Province Permanent Secretary Bernard Mpundu has called for intensified preventive and control measures among various stakeholders to avert the further spread of cholera. Mr. Mpundu has also directed all 12 local authorities in the province to up their game in waste management. The Permanent Secretary says the provincial administration is concerned that some councils in the province are not effectively managing waste, especially at their dumping sites. He was speaking during the Provincial Epidemic Preparedness Management Committee meeting held in Kasama. Speaking earlier, Northern Province Health Director Ernest Mutale said the Provincial Health Office is on high alert to avert the further outbreak of the disease. The Ministry of Health has intensified cholera awareness campaigns in Lusaka district. A check by Zanis in Mutendere and Chilenje townships found health volunteers distributing chlorine to households. Our staffer, Lakson Makosa, gives us details in this report.
The Ministry of Health is not slowing down when it comes to heightening cholera awareness in communities. With support from the volunteers, the Ministry of Health has intensified door-to-door cholera sensitization campaigns. Engaging communities in the dissemination of cholera messages has been well received by the public.
Abana punzira vambiri kuchokera kuri va Ministry of Health kuti tifunikire kugara va clean va udongo paliponse paya tifunikire making sure vana vaoneka clean tifunikire kusamalira na vana so that they prevent cholera.
Awe namvera bwino maningi zikomonia mikira kwambiri potiendera Ministry of Health potitetezera pa umoyo watu tamvera bwino kuti awe mutikonda maningi mutisamalira kwambiri tiamikira maningi.
As part of heightening the fight against cholera, residents are also being given free chlorine.
Kira potiendera va health mbwero tukunzisako va cholera mukitirize bwera mukutipunzisa cholera nintenda yoipa ipa ya fast.
The Ministry of Health is happy with the response from communities where the door-to-door sensitization is taking place.
All the areas, as we do the social listening, we're able to get people saying they've gotten the message in terms of cholera. It's just really heightening in terms of some of the key preventive measures and also some of the needs that are going around. So we are seeing the outcomes coming from the sensitization. I think even when we look at the numbers that are reducing, we know that sensitization is contributing to the reduction in the number of cases.
Concerted efforts are required if the fight against cholera epidemic is to be won as demonstrated by the volunteers. For Zanis, I'm Lakson Makosa.
We take our first break. When we return, government alert on illegal trade taking place in border towns. Stay tuned.
Kolela ichumanyi kolela hi musongo wa kuhitisha muntu una kwachikika musongo wa kolela ukukata musongo wa kuhitisha na kusanza muntu yeniwo wahitisha nga menji adine imenji alosu muyeji ukuma menji mu mujimba windi mulonga wa kushweza kuhitisha menji amavulu muyeji na twechu kufwa muji ora 10 na jiyadi ne ikutambula kukewa kwa kubula kulumbuluka. Injilanyi mwakutambwila musongo wakapota munene ikolela. Kuna menji akubula kushewa ichumbu hela menji amajilu. Kuda yakukwata na makasa amajilu hela kukosa yenga na menji amajilu. Kuda yakubula kubutewa hana kuwila anjinji. Kuda infuta ichuta inabuli kuhembewa chubwahi. Kuda inakulandishewa kunsanyi kwa. Injilanyi ya ukangechela musongo wakapota muneni kolela. Bwakati shenu menji enu akunwa hela shenu mu yichumbu ya chlorine. Wele enu kumakasa enu na mulola na kuwela nawa kumakasa hanyuma ya kuzacha chimbushu. Tati shenu yakuda heno kanda muyidi. Bai kuda inakulandishewa kunsanyi kwa. Zatisheni chimbushu mpindi yejima bai kuzatisha nyingomu hela ipepa la yanjunju muna mwakunatila malabishi. Mwanene nenu antu anakudukwashila kuyimbushu. Hembeni chimbushu cha unyonji nawa china kubutewa. Insangu yino anaileteliyu kudi akamtayi waipatela.
Welcome back, and we continue with Zanis News. Minister of Defense Ambrose Lufuma says government will not compromise on any illegal trade taking place in border towns. Mr. Lufuma said this when he visited Chief Musaka's area in Mushindamo district. More is in this report.
Is in the province to ascertain the smuggling cases at Kipushi border in Mushindamo district, which is an entry point between Zambia and Congo DR. The defense minister first pays courtesy on Chief Musaka of the Lamba-speaking people in Mushindamo district.
This climatic change has affected the region. Our neighbors in and around us have been affected greatly. They also rely on maize for their staple food. And because they have been affected, and we are the only jewel basically in the middle who have this commodity, and therefore there is pressure from outside to try and get this commodity.
Chief Musaka raises a concern on behalf of his subjects.
People are saying, we the people of Chief Musaka, like this time, FRA came to buy maize here, and the marketing season is closed. We gave them our quota. Now, there are a few bags left for the farmers to sell at their market. So when they take 1, 2, 3, 4 bags, they are arrested and given as staff.
The minister assures the people that government is not against trade as long as it is done in a legal manner.
Genuine farmers, peasant farmers, the community here, the subject of Chief Musaka, are allowed to trade. But if the local person from nowhere comes with 10 bags of milime from Solwezi, that is deemed as smuggling. Okay? Because then it is meant for the external market.
Reporting for Zanis News in Mushindamo district, Jennifer Mtoshi.
In Central Province, Deputy Permanent Secretary Godfrey Chitambala says the installation of internet services in Luano and Kapirimposhi districts will enhance efficiency and productivity. Mr. Chitambala adds that government is keen to ensure all government departments go paperless as they provide services to the people. He said this after touring the installation sites in the 2 districts. Here are the details.
Government has embarked on a program to connect all the districts in Central Province to the government-wide area network. Central Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Godfrey Chitambala says the installation of internet services to Kapirimposhi and Luano districts will enhance productivity and efficiency.
This is one of the government that relying upon, because officers must be brought together in a narrow way so that there's no lapses at each community. And like I said there on again, the issues of paperwork, yes, we can eradicate them completely, but the fact that that reduce the paperwork process and the link at which we shall move will be more faster than we will. Hence, that will enhance productivity.
Kapiri Town Council Secretary Yombwechi Samu says internet connectivity will improve service delivery and increase revenue collection.
We are now in a digital space, and as a country we are moving towards being digitalized. So this will help us in terms of revenue management, in that we move from the manual systems and we rely more on the internet connectivity, and we use on interface with the community, and this will maximize our revenue. But not only that, we know that we've been running CBF projects, and we need to report back to our superiors, and such connectivity will help us to deliver timely information.
And Secretary to Luano District Commissioner says connectivity will improve communication with provincial administration.
Sending mails and receiving mails is now faster, like it's the way it was in the days where we used to travel to Kawe, to the provincial administration, just to take the letters or to receive the mails. But the coming of Starlink, we are able to do it, to send the mails and to receive the feedback within a day.
Meanwhile, Smart Zambia Networks officer Jones Chongo says the department is set to increase data points to improve connectivity.
Smart Zambia is in the process of negotiating the contractor so that this site can also have an increase in the number of data points where users can access the internet and the other shared services that government is offering. And because of that, the Smart Zambia team from HQ is actually negotiating with the venture, which is the contractor on site, to ensure that other offices that were not in the actual plan accounted for will also be connected.
Kelvin Tembo for Zanis in Rwano District, Central Province. We now take you to Western Province, where government plans to restore about 2 million hectares of land by the year 2030 in order to address the negative effects of deforestation. Provincial Minister Kapelu Ambangweta, who has launched the provincial 2023 to 2024 tree planting season in Lukulu district, says over 19,000 trees will be planted in schools and communities to enhance adaptation to negative effects of climate change. More is in this report by Rita Kavindama.
Trees play an important role in the livelihoods of people, and there's need to ensure that available forests are used in moderation so that they continue providing the benefits to the current and future generations. Western Province Minister Kapelu Ambangweta launched the 2023-2024 tree planting season in Lukulu district.
As a province, we take this national agenda seriously, and this is the more reason why we are here today to ensure that we add our voice to this important national agenda by translating these commitments into action. In order to enhance adaptation to the negative impact of climate change, over 19,000 trees are being planted in schools and local communities in order to enhance household food security, income generation, wind breaking, and improving livelihoods. Some of the trees planted bear fruits which help people to diversify their income while providing shade and the wind breaks to the offset.
Principal Forestry Officer Messi Kandulu echoed the importance of planting trees of value and that the Department of Forestry will continue carrying out community sensitizations.
We want to plan ahead. Starting April, the district should scale up necessary establishment and management activities so that they can have enough stocks to extend the plantation. The plantation area is about 18 hectares. And we've started with eucalyptus. We are likely to go into other species like maybe the pines, which are mainly used for construction, especially in roofing. But eucalyptus is very good for poles, and this is the species which is also used for making the transmission poles for power.
And Barosi Royal Establishment BRE attaches great value to natural resources and also cements the need to preserve and restore the lost forests.
Nimusebezi wakuchara likota kimusebezi omunde likota kana koniye siliferile kwa maana kamingende ngeli teni ya mifutafuta yeni yale chali hautile mungende ngewo kuchara likota kakuyemela mulonga lwaitumela milususweza muso ulusika felela fa uzwele pili kamusebezi weza kuchara likota zeze chaliwa libabalelwe ilikuli kamuso likono kulutusa chaba sisiliteni sisikesaba ni businyi bwa kupuma kalikota ze ni kuitekiseza zona kamba kushimba kuyobelekisa kwali bakazabona.
St. Columbus Deputy Headmistress Pauline Mutelo complimented government efforts being done to restore natural resources.
These efforts, sir, are being frustrated because the community continue uprooting what we normally plant. The few plants that remain have been grazed upon by cattle that farmers bring into the school premises. The constant passage of animals have accelerated soil erosion, especially during the rainy season.
capacity.
The launch was being commemorated under the theme Plant a Tree to Ensure Food Security and Business Opportunities Under a Changing Climate. Rita Kabindama, Zanis, Lukulu District, Western Province.
The Road Development Agency has held a capacity building workshop for engineers and technicians from local authorities in Northern Province to equip them with road maintenance skills. Provincial Deputy Permanent Secretary Lewis Mwape, who officiated at the workshop, commended RDA for the initiative, saying it will foster the provision of sustainable road infrastructure in the province. Jafet Munkondia with the details.
A well-maintained road is critical to facilitate the smooth movement of people and goods, thereby promoting the socio-economic development of the country. This is why the Road Development Agency, RDA Northern Province, has held a capacity-building workshop for engineers from local authorities in the province to equip them with knowledge on road maintenance. The workshop was officially opened by Northern Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Lewis Mwape.
This will provide an interactive forum for the engineers from RDA and from local authorities to share, explore and discuss concepts and issues related to good and acceptable contemporary standards of road maintenance. The workshop will also provide participants with good insight into the process of routine maintenance.
RDA Acting Northern Province Regional Manager Ben Kashimoto explained the objective of the training.
So basically it's a training on maintenance. So we want to enhance maintenance activities so that we can preserve the life of our roads in the country. So to do that, we've called all the engineers from all the 10 districts in Northern Province.
And participants said the training will help improve their knowledge on road maintenance.
Workshops like this really will give us capacity to be able to maintain our roads and actually bring them to standard that is acceptable. So we've come here to learn on the standardization of roads. Encaradi has come up with a special standard that we'll be using.
There's lack of maintenance of roads pertaining the local government. So now it's going to help us on how we're going to maintain our roads.
Reporting for Zanis in Kasama, I'm Jafet Munkondia.
In a related development, Watopa and Kabompo residents in Lukulu and Kabompo districts have called for the construction of a bridge at Kabompo River, bordering western and northwestern provinces. This is after a truck carrying groceries headed for Chavuma district in northwestern province overweighed the pontoon and caused it to sink together with a small car. Both the truck and the car have since been retrieved from the river. Here is a report.
It is barely 5 months ago when Watopa residents in Lukulu district of Western Province called for a construction of a bridge on the Kabompo River, a border area for Lukulu district and Kabompo district in Northwestern Province. Currently, those traveling either for business or personal arrangements are stranded as the pontoon is still submerged in water 5 days after a truck loaded with groceries overweighed the 30 tons capacity pontoon, which is the only means of crossing when using motor vehicles.
This truck is 25 tons and our pontoon is 30 tons. So the main cause of the accident, this truck did not enter accordingly. He went 2 kilometers away from here, followed the first vehicle. Now upon reaching there, the tail, the bumper behind, had to hit in this position here. The main major problem is poor landing bay. We have been going over these landing bays. As you can see, our landing bays are very poor. Both sides, from that side and this side. We have been requesting this for so long.
Western Province Minister Kapero Mbangweta also visited the scene recently and acknowledged the need for the construction of a bridge.
In a sense, it was fortunate that there was no fatality, but he also illustrates the need for a permanent solution. A permanent solution here is a bridge. Right now it's very difficult for people from Kabompo side to come this side, Kalwawa side.
unless they are using those small boats. The last accident happened here more or less similar in October, and this is January barely, so it means that an urgent solution now is required, because obviously the frequency indicates the number of people traveling, and of course if we don't do something quickly, then there could be a fatality, which would be very unfortunate.
Kalwawa Ward Councillor Chidimanga Study told Zanis in an interview that the incidents happened on Monday 9th January 2024 around 07 hours and echoed the need for a bridge urgently.
Oh, let the government come and work on this here, remove the pontoon, put the bridge, because we are losing a lot of vehicles every year now, and then we are losing. Otherwise, we end up losing our own assets which are giving us, which we are sustaining our lives on it.
Rita Kabinda Zanis, Local District, Western Province.
We take another break. We have agriculture and education stories coming up. Stay tuned.
Kodi kolera ndi chani?
Kolera ndi matenda othulula. Munthu amene adwala matenda ya kolera amathulula kwambiri ndi kusanza. Dothi lake limakhala ngati madzi momwe atsukira mpunga. Ndipo munthu odwala kolera, madzi mthupi lake amatha kamba kakuti iye amachoka kwambiri kupyolera mkusanza ndi kuthulula kwambiri. Munthu odwala kolera angamwalire m'maola 12 kaya kuti 12 hours ngati sanalandire mwamsanga thandizo la mankhwala.
Kodi munthu angatengere motani matenda a kolera?
Kumwa madzi adothi, kudya zakudya ndi m'manja mosasamba mwadothi kapena kugwiritsa ntchito mbale zotsukiwa ndi madzi adothi. Kudya zakudya zimene zinangosiwa mosasamala posabwinikira. Kudya zakudya zozizira zachimbala zimene sizinasungiwa bwino. Kudya zakudya zimene amagulitsa mphepete mwa misewu. Kudya zipatso ndi ndiwo zamasamba zosatsuka.
Kodi kolera ingachinjiriziwe?
Gadusani madzi anu akumwa kapena kugwiritsa ntchito chlorine. Sambani m'manja ndi madzi aukhondo ndi sopo mukamaliza kugwiritsa ntchito chimbudzi. Funditsani zakudya mukalibe kuyamba kudya. Osadya zakudya zimene zimagulitsiwa mphepete mwa misewu. Muyenera kubwinikira zakudya kuopetsa kuti ntchentche zingakakeko. Nthawi zonse muyenera kugwiritsa ntchito chimbudzi. Pewani kugwiritsa ntchito machemba kapena maplastiki ngati chimbudzi. Onani kuti dothi litayiwa mchimbudzi. Nthawi zonse onani kuti zimbuzi zikhala zaukhondo ndipo nthawi zonse pambowa wa chimbudzi chanu pazikhala pobwinikira bwinobwino. Okubweretsani uthenga uyu ndi aunduna wa zaumoyo.
We continue with Zanis News. About 23 youths in Siavonga district have benefited from the Aquaculture Seed Fund, which is a component of the Zambia Aquaculture Enterprise Development Project, funded by the Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission, CEEC. The 23 beneficiaries have received a funding of 152,000 kwacha to construct fish cages on Lake Kariba. Siavonga District Commissioner Geoffrey Jagopo has since urged the beneficiaries to use the money for its intended purpose. Brandina Lambwe gives us details in this report.
Government has continued to make positive strides in empowering communities through various empowerment initiatives aimed at improving their livelihoods. In Siavonga district, one such empowerment initiative is the Aquaculture Seed Fund component under the Zambia Aquaculture Enterprise Development Project, where about 23 youths have been funded by Citizen Economic Empowerment Commission, CEEC, with about 152,000 kwacha each to set up fish cages on Lake Kariba. Siavonga District Commissioner Geoffrey Jacopo reaffirmed government commitment to empowering local small-scale fish farmers in the district.
As a government under CEEC, we are trying to empower our youths by going into this same fish farming. We have set aside a portion here at Banana Island. That area is reserved for locals to also go into that business through loans that will be given by CEEC.
The initiative has yielded positive results among young people.
To thank the government for the empowerment that it has given to us. I'm one of the 23 beneficiaries who benefited from CEC in 2021. The money that we are given, about 152,000 kwacha, we had to put it into use, whereby we made the cages that are in Kariba Dam, and we also helped other people, other youths in Siavonga, whereby we empowered them by employing them.
Young people are able not only to sustain their livelihoods, but also contribute to the growth of the aquaculture industry. Brandina Lambwe, Zanis, Siavonga District, Southern Province.
The Ministry of Agriculture in Masaiti District on the Copperbelt Province has begun a 2-day training for agriculture extension officers to equip them with better ways of addressing the issue of fall armyworms. More is in this report.
Fall armyworms have continued to ravage the fields of farmers in Masaiti District and the country as a whole. This matter has prompted the Ministry of Agriculture to release funds for training agricultural extension officers and farmers in Masaiti District. Masaiti District Agriculture Coordinating Officer Ruben Kawiti has disclosed that over 1,400 households have been affected.
It's surprising that we can just let almost 7,000 times 50 kg bags of maize just going to waste because of this pest. Because I think last year our infestation levels were almost about 10%, which translates to almost about 3,500 metric tons loss of maize to this pest. So it's for this purpose why we are meeting here, so that we share the knowledge and the skills on how best we can tackle and control this pest. As if that is not enough, Masait, I think, recorded its for this season in December. By end of December, almost about 1,400 households were affected, translating into almost about 400 and plus hectares.
And the agriculture extension officers have thanked government for the timely training.
Happy that the government have arranged that we should be trained on how we can handle this serious issue of armyworms. We have been given the outline on how we are going to learn about it. We have been oriented to say mainly we will not focus on chemical control of this for armyworm, and we will normally focus on the use of locally available things to handle the same pest. So we are glad that we have never had this training before, because it has catered almost all the officers in the district. Previously, there were just a few officers who were trained over the same.
It's very important for camp officers, because we've come to learn more about botanic methods. We've been doing it lately, but at least today we've come to learn more about it. And when we go back in the fields, at least we'll be able to educate farmers more about the botanical methods.
Kwachichanda, Zanis, Masaiti District.
In Southern Province, about 18 contractors in Mbabala constituency have been contracted to manufacture 2,300 desks under the 2023 Constituency Development Fund allocation for the constituency. Member of Parliament Joseph Munsanje visited the contractors to monitor the progress being made and urged them to deliver the desks to various schools in the constituencies by second week of February. Peter Perry reports.
Since Constituency Development Fund was increased from 1.6 to 27.5 and now 30.6 million kwacha, the funds have continued to yield positive results in various wards of Mambara constituency of Choma district in Southern Province. In the education sector, these funds are being used in the manufacturing of desks and construction of classroom blocks to improve the learning environment. Mambara Member of Parliament Joseph Musanje is in his constituency to monitor the ongoing manufacturing of 2,300 desks, a contract given to 18 local contractors. The Member of Parliament wants to see the desks distributed in schools by the second week of February.
We are on course to meet this presidential directive
And as the schools open, the pupils will come to a nice environment, because then they will come to an environment where they have got these wonderful desks. The desks are visible here, and so when we say CDF is working, it's a game changer. Definitely it's a game changer, because the last time I was at this school, we were showing a classroom where we had the small bricks. Children were sitting on some small bricks. I think it's the other classroom. And some were sitting on logs at this school, at Mangunza Primary and Secondary School here. So this is a key secondary school for this area, because it's catering for Njembe Ward, which goes up to Kachenje Rugwaro, and it's also catering for itself Mangunza here, up to Manancheo, and many other children from Nabugoa up to Mutongwa.
Manguzu Primary and Secondary School has already received 45 desks, and the school head teacher is elated.
We are happy. As the teachers, I think we are going to teach without any problem now, because initially we used to find it difficult to teach because we had less number of desks and most of pupils were sitting on the floor.
Alon Chiresh is one of the contractors engaged to construct 127 desks and appreciate government for empowering local contractors.
Because this man, after making these desks, you get paid, go to the market, empower a lady selling tomato there, which is very good. That's what we want. So we encourage such activities to continue so that our people can be empowered.
Reporting for Zanis in Choma, Peter Piri.
Zambia Army Commander Lieutenant General Dennis Aliwuzwi says his desire is to see a modern army with well-trained staff coupled with modern facilities as enshrined in the Zambia Army vision of having a professional, versatile army capable of maintaining the country and world peace. Lieutenant General Aliwuzwi said this when he officially opened the refurbished Headquarters Infantry Brigade guest house in Lusaka's Woodlands area. Civil Service Commission Acting Chairperson Jolwe Beani says the recruitment of health workers this year will be for new entrants and not promotions and transfers as the case was in the previous one. Dr. Beani said this when the Commission paid a courtesy call on Muchinga Province Permanent Secretary Henry Mukungule at his office. Meanwhile, Mr. Mukungule says out of 231 newly recruited health workers allocated to the province in the 2023 recruitment, 225 have already reported and their respective places of work. Details by Pamela Inambao.
He is in Muchinga Province to conduct a spot check on the status of the 2023 recruitment of health workers. Civil Service Commission Acting Chairperson Dr. Jolwe Beani, who paid a courtesy call on Muchinga Province Permanent Secretary, said the newly employed health workers were given enough time to prepare themselves and report to their various stations, saying those that have not reported risk being replaced by those willing to serve government.
That today, January 2024 is a deadline for the successful candidates to report to them. Where government is in a hurry to deliver quality services to its citizens in all parts of the country, regardless of urban or rural. Those who have not reported as guided risk being replaced by other candidates who are willing to serve. The Commission is here to conduct monitoring and evaluation of delegated functions to the Human Resource Management Committees, HRMCs, that include confirmations and transfers.
Meanwhile, Muchinga Province Permanent Secretary Henry Mukungule says out of the 231 slots allocated to the province, 225 have since reported and are already working.
We were allocated 231 positions, and I wish to confirm that all the 231 were actually appointed, and that those that have reported so far, we have only 225 that have reported to this day, and that 6 of these officers have not reported. Our people are in a hurry to receive the services.
And the acting chairperson further disclosed that the commission will this January 2024 commence the process of recruiting health workers.
We are beginning a new recruitment process starting as early as this January. Okay. This new recruitment will be first entrance into the system, meaning that those facilities where there was no one to promote and a place to fill, you'll be able to do so.
Pamela Inamba reporting for Zanis in Chinsali, Muchinga Province.
And now, as we approach the start of the Africa Cup of Nations, the Chipolo Polo boys are expected to land in Ivory Coast today, where the team will take part in the Africa Cup of Nations after a 9-year absence. On Thursday, the team left their base in Saudi Arabia, where the squad was camped for a pre-AFCON outing. Whilst in the Middle East, the Avram Grant-tutored side played a friendly match against West Africans Cameroon, which ended in a 1-0 draw. Zambia, alongside the rest of the Group F opponents, namely Morocco, Tanzania, DRC Congo, will be based in the coastal city of San Pedro and play all the matches at the Laurent Poco Stadium. Zambia will play its first game with the neighboring Democratic Republic of Congo next week, Wednesday, January 17th, before playing Tanzania 4 days later on January 21st. Meanwhile, all is set for the 2024 Africa Cup of Nations, with Ivory Coast staging the finals for the second time. According to the BBC, the tournament kicks off on Saturday, 13th January 2024, when the hosts will take on Guinea-Bissau at the Alassane Ouattara Stadium in Abidjan. Record 7-time champions Egypt are also in action on the opening weekend, facing Mozambique in Group B, while holders Senegal begin the defense of their title against Gambia in Group C on Monday, 15th January. On that sporting note, we come to the end of this edition of Zanis News. But before we go, here is a recap of the stories that made headlines. President Hichilema congratulates DRC's President-elect Tshisekedi. Cholera cases continue to reduce. Government cautions people on illegal trade in borders. Plus, Chipolo Polo boys expected in Ivory Coast. And that's all we had for you on this edition of Zanis News. From me, Twambo Siavwapa, and on behalf of the entire Zanis production team, it's bye-bye and join us next time.